think the message we want to give today to the people listening is to all these parents and kids. Purpose is greater than money.
Yeah, if you're chasing money without a purpose, you're going to be empty and unfulfilled, unsuccessful, and you're probably going to cut corners.
Smart money parenting.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Smart Money Parenting. We're going to start the episode today with a couple of reviews and some shout outs. Levine Andrews said something I love. Chad and Scott are awesome. I love this podcast. I actually listened to it with my teenager on the way to school in the morning.
That's cool.
That makes me so happy. That's the point. Clean, fun, topical, helpful for parents and kids. ADB said, have these conversations with your kids. Such helpful information. 5-star.
That's cool. I like the fact that people are listening on the drive to school. Someone else I saw, they commented that on LinkedIn or Instagram, but they said they listened to it. They listened to an episode, I think at 1.25 speed on the way to school with the kids in the car. I'm like, how cool is that? Spark up a conversation. I like it.
That's perfect. This show is such an excellent resource for parents looking to raise financially savvy children. Always a shout out to you, Chad. Willardson's expertise in finance shines through each episode as he covers a range of topics, from teaching kids about budgeting to planning for college expenses. There you go.
There we go. Thank you.
That's a fan. That's a raving fan. There you go.
I'll take it.
Scott and Chad are fun to listen to.
Hey.
And have given me so many ideas and helped me to be able to talk with my kids about money. It's always been hard to talk about this and help my kids be able to understand how money works. So thanks, guys. That's from Kurzthorberg.
What?
I don't know. Someone probably just threw in a random name because they wanted to just give us a review and they never did.
Anonymous review. That's cool.
Eric Bach. As a dad with young kids, this podcast gives excellent strategies to teaching financial literacy. I wish I had this growing up. I love it.
That's cool. Yeah, we appreciate all the reviews, guys. You got another one?
One more. I'll read one more. This is from our friend Brian Covey, huge influencer in the real estate space, the Covey family.
Yep. Stephen Covey, famous Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Successful.
5 stars. Fantastic podcast for kids and parents. Great podcast to help parents and kids learn the basics of money early. This one area has such a high impact on life and so much more. Highly recommend. That's awesome. All right. So that's cool. We're getting the love from the world. Thank you guys.
We appreciate it.
We do. This means a lot. You know, we're doing this for impact, not money. We don't, we're not getting paid to do this. We love to do this because of the impact it's making on so many parents and kids. And, I think that if we keep going down this rabbit trail, Chad, we're going to be seeing so many families unlock value like they've never seen before. Like, this is a big one. And so I'm honored to do this with you.
Just from all the follows, downloads, like we see the stats, they're from our podcast manager, and it's been exploding since it came out, our podcast show. And I think it's not because of us, it's because the topics people care about so much.
Yeah.
And that's what we find in the reviews and the feedback is like, people want this topic and they need practical ideas. And it's just bringing it to the forefront. There's not a lot out there teaching parents how to be smart with teaching kids about money and life skills and stuff like that. So
hey,
we're on this mission together with you. Everyone who's listening, we're parents and you're parents, and we're here with you.
We're not so bad. All right.
We're not bad.
We're better than Chat GPT. You think an AI software can do this podcast better than us?
No, they definitely could not. Definitely
we're a little bit of fun.
No, we're fun. I mean, the review said fun. So I'm gonna run with that one.
All right, good. I think it helps that we have kids but with different wives. We have kids between the ages of a month and 18 now. So,
well, yeah, name the ages of your kids. I'm going to name the ages of mine. So you start.
So I've got 4 kiddos, 6, 4, 2, and 2 months.
Wait, no, you got to start from the youngest because we're going to just go in like a stair step up.
All right. Lincoln is a month and a half. Owen is 2, almost 3. Sawyer turns 5 next week, and Reagan turns 7 next week.
And then we go up. Beckham is 8. Bentley is 9. Sterling is 13. Pierce is 16. And McKinley is 18. So we got 0 to 18 and just 2 podcast hosts right here. We're coming at you with the whole spectrum.
And we got to have our wives on here. I think these
Yeah, that
people
would be good.
need our wives next,
That would be
because
fun.
they're the real reason our kids are awesome. They
For
all
sure.
turn out like McKinley, your 18-year-old. I think
Yeah.
we're killing it, man.
We'd
So
be, by the way, she got multiple full ride scholarship offers this week for basketball.
Dude.
Exciting wins for the family.
unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's cool.
She should save one of those for her siblings.
I know. Spread the love around. She's getting a lot of action right now for basketball. It's fun.
Proud
So,
dad. I can hear it, man.
oh yeah.
Okay, well, the point of what we're saying today, we're not doing this for money. We're doing this for impact. This is, I think, Chad, you and I were put on this earth for some very specific reasons. And, one of the biggest ones is raising amazing children to create value in the world and succeed and really impact people around them, and to have incredible wives that we're blessed with to do life with and grow with and make us better men. But one of the biggest purposes that I've seen you and I have is this financial competency mission. This has been really fun to do. And we're doing it in our own ways with the books and the show and the app, and with the financial planning that you have and the children's business fairs that we do. Like, just you and I we're hot to trot on this mission, man. This is purpose to the T.
Big time purpose. Big time purpose. It's what we think about. It's what we care about. I mean, we care about it in our own families, and we want to spread it out to the world. And we want to gather the best ideas. We don't have all the best ideas. We want to gather them and share them with our platform. And that's what we're doing here on the Smart Money Parenting Show.
Yeah. And I think the message we want to give today to the people listening is to all these parents and kids: purpose is greater than money. People need purpose more than they need money. And maybe I'll give some of the frame here of how this sort of came up. Like, this whole idea of universal income, like basic income, everyone should just get a check and everyone will be happy. If everyone got $1,000 check every week or every month, we'd all be fine. And I think it's a hot button in politics. It's an issue, honestly, that stems from kids getting a bunch of free allowance at home their whole life, thinking that the real world works that way, and it doesn't. But I think as you get to the heart of this matter, it's like, wait a minute here. Money doesn't solve the problem. People need purpose more than money. In a few of my circles, a guy named Jordan Peterson, and we just heard a post that he did, a comment he made talking about people absolutely need purpose more than they need money. In fact, money follows impact in a lot of ways. If you go the reverse, it can cause a lot of problems with people.
Yeah, if you're chasing money without a purpose, you're going to be empty and unfulfilled, unsuccessful, and you're probably going to cut corners, because you're after the dollar. But if you're chasing purpose and you get people on board with that mission or that purpose, then the abundance and the financial rewards really are unlimited.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we found in creating Gravy Stack and this show and our books, with the mission of helping kids and families prepare to be financially successful and just ready to have all the life skills they need to thrive as adults. Look at the response. And we have people calling us who are like mega influencers and saying, how can I be a part of this? How can I help with this? I want to help you guys succeed. It's because we're not saying, hey, look how much money we could potentially make if we do this, this, and this. It's not that at all. We're going to put a lot of amazing content out there for the mission of financial education for kids and families. Who wants to join us? That's a much cooler invitation. And the financial rewards will follow, but you have, like you said, Scott, you have to have purpose more than you need money.
You do not listen to this show. Like, you'll never hear from Chad and I saying, here's how you get rich.
Right.
That's not the point. And I know a lot of miserable rich people, man.
And someone just clicked off the show because they said, you know what? Well, I wanted to hear about how to get rich, but because they're not going to talk about that, I'm not going to listen.
Here's the irony. We're teaching you how to be financially sound. We're teaching you how to create value. We're teaching you to run after purpose and do well. You can do those things together. Chad and I are both doing it. That's the thing, is when you chase the dollar first without the purpose or impact behind it, you'll cut corners. You'll give up. You will give up because there's obstacles. It's hard to make money. It is hard to create value and make money. Like, can we just say that for a second?
It is.
It's freaking hard to like
It's tough.
sell something and make money and provide for your family, have something left over to grow and invest. That's not easy. You can only do it through hard work, discipline, and creating value. But what we're saying is, if you chase purpose first, find what you were put on this earth to do and run full speed after that, become a world-class person at that, then you will be, the impact and the purpose will be exponential in your life, and most likely finances follow. Like, you will do great when you become the world's best at X. You will do great when you chase what you were born here to do. And we do this with kids in the Gravy Stack app. We call it the sweet spot. It's this triangle of three things. What do you love? What are you good at? And what are the biggest needs of the world that you can help solve? What do you love? What are you good at? And what are the needs of the world that you can jump in full speed on, that you really, really care about? What breaks your heart? What's a problem or need that you're like, I need to help on this. I need to solve this issue. Whether that's nonprofit or for-profit, doesn't matter. Like, there a lot of times it's both, to be honest with you. There's a lot of ways to help people and make money doing it. And that's the point here, is we want to make money after we know what the purpose is. That's critical for us in this podcast, because you will cut corners, you will give up, you will be miserable if you get there. You will. And then in the process of chasing the almighty dollar, you're probably going to estrange the people closest to you. I know some horror stories, and so do you, Chad.
Well, it's really easy to spot someone who's just chasing money without purpose. Like, they don't care about impact, they don't care about people, and no one wants to be around those people. But I like what you said, Scott, about that trifecta, that triangle of like things that you're good at, things that you love, things that you care about, and solving a need and solving an issue out there, solving a challenge. Like Strategic Coach, which we're both a part of, with Dan Sullivan, they always talk about unique ability. One of their trademark phrases is unique ability. Like, find your unique ability. What are you really, really good at that you love to do, that gives you purpose and energy and drive, and chase that first, because you'll find business opportunities and ways to be financially successful once you know who you are and what you're aiming to solve and help with.
That's right.
It's not the other way around. So kids who are listening to this and they're teenagers and they're thinking about like, what do I want to do in college? That's a question my daughter McKinley gets asked all the time from coaches, is like, what do you plan to major in? Well, let's talk about the majors that our school has to offer. And she's really thinking about what she cares about and her purpose. That's really what they're asking. It's not about like, how can I make money quickest? It's not like I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant because that's some way to get a certain amount of salary right out of college. It's more like, what am I really interested in? And how can I learn that sooner at a younger age? That's how we can really help you, is we can give you ideas to help your kids discover their talents, gifts, unique abilities, and purpose. And that's something that we're really focused on, is they can learn that at a younger age, then they're going to be more prepared to succeed.
Do you want your kids to look back at their time in your home saying, mom was miserable, but she made a lot of money?
Right. Horrible. That sounds horrible.
Or do you want them to say, my mom worked hard, but did something she absolutely loved, and she loved us. She was on fire for what she did. If dad, right? Dad was working his booty off, doing something that made a massive impact, and he could hang his hat at the end of the day proud. And it doesn't matter if there's $100,000 million in the bank account at the end of the day. It doesn't. You want to make sure, what we're trying to explain to you is, when you chase the purpose, what you were put on this earth to do, like, you are born with gifts and talents and skills to make a huge impact in the world. You follow that headlong. We're trying to teach you how to do that in a financially successful, responsible way. That's what we're trying to do. That's smart money parenting. Okay. Instead of saying, oh, well, my lot in life is to just do this. And I just want to make as much as I possibly can, because that's what it means to have a successful life. It's not. It's not. In fact, the most successful people I know are the most generous with the extra.
Very true.
So
yeah, it's very true.
So we want to remind parents, like, your kids are watching this. Your kids are watching this. They're watching how you go to work every day, and they're watching the energy left when you get home. I've had hard days, and I'm preaching to the choir. I'm literally coaching myself as I speak, because some days I come home and I want to like fall down face long on the couch. You know how hard this tech has been. You know how hard Gravy Stack has been to build. There's a lot of bugs we've been beating out and working out, but I'll never quit. I'll never quit.
Because of the purpose inside you, though. That's what drives you. It's that book Simon Sinek wrote, Start with Why.
Yes.
If you start with why, everything falls into place. If you have a purpose big enough, you're going to find a way to be successful. I think teaching your kids, if they're just playing the Gravy Stack game and just trying to get as much money as they can without any purpose behind it, they're going to miss the point. The point is really to grow and learn and develop and get better and get smarter and get more prepared to succeed, have fun, meet new people, like do all kinds of cool stuff as a kid. It's not just to get money, because money, you could throw money at a lot of people's situations.
Yeah.
And it's not going to solve anything. They're not going to be happier. They're going to spend their way back to being broke. You've got to find purpose and chase purpose more than you chase financial rewards.
Yeah.
Financial rewards comes after you become value. And I think that's something you talk about in Value Creation Kit is becoming valuable first, having a purpose and a cause. And I think, Scott, how can we help kids discover purpose and do things with purpose rather than just think about chasing money?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, but the first one I'll say is the sweet spot in the game, like in the Gravy Stack game, we literally have a sweet spot challenge where the kids are asking their parents and grandparents and relatives and close friends that know them, what do I do? What have you seen and observed in my life that I am better at than anybody else? Like, what do you see me like uniquely gifted in doing?
Imagine how a kid feels when they get those answers, by the way. That's pretty cool.
Like, kids need to know this. They need to be told from the outside perspective. You know, you can't see the label when you're inside the jar. So a kid who hears from the people that know them and love them the most, you know, I see that you are incredibly good at reading people. You are incredibly good at communication. You are amazing at writing. Like, your artistic ability, you should go into graphic design. You know, like just calling out what you see in kids is just a fantastic way to build up their self-esteem and their confidence, and then help them drive to create value in the world, to build the capabilities to drive. So the other thing I want to say here, Chad, is you don't have to go invent the next craziest invention to have purpose and impact. That is not what we're saying.
You don't have to all be changing the world on a massive global scale.
You know who the happiest person that ever lived in the last 300 years was? It was Brother Lawrence. He was a dishwasher. There's a book that's out there. It's like a 75-page book on this monk 200 years ago. And he washed dishes for 40 years. And he did it with more joy, more love, more discipline, more care than anyone.
Attention to detail.
In history. And you read this book and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, this man was in love with his job. And he inspired everybody around him. He literally was, the impact of this dishwasher was unbelievable. Every single other person was like, yep, this man is the happiest, most loving, kind, disciplined, hardworking, like loves his job. He washed dishes. You know, the book is called Practicing the Presence of God. It's an amazing book, but it's really a workbook. It's a book about work. It's a book about how do you find purpose in your work. And you know what? You can hang your hat at the end of the day if you loved a customer really well. Doesn't matter the job. If you really put in like the effort and you nailed the spreadsheet that really added value to your team. If you did,
if you could be working at an ice cream shop,
doesn't matter.
But if you have purpose, if you come in and you're like, my purpose is to help people be happy.
Yep.
Like, I'm scooping ice cream.
Yep. Asking
Go in
people
with
how
a
their
bad
day
attitude.
is.
Yes.
You'll
Get to know people. My purpose today is I'm going to wake up with a great attitude and I'm going to leave people happier than when they walked in this ice cream store.
Yep.
Like that's purpose. And eventually you're going to earn more than you would have otherwise, because you're bringing the right attitude, the right purpose to what you do every day. So kids watch you. If you got work on Monday morning, how do you show up Monday morning? Are you complaining about Monday morning all weekend? That kind of drains you and drains the kids. The kids are like, well, my parents hate their job. They don't like their work. They're basically slaving away for money to pay for us.
Yep.
That's a much different experience for a kid than seeing their parent who's excited and says, hey, kids, guess what I'm working on? Hey, kids, guess what I just did at work today? It was really awesome.
Yep.
So like kids need to see you having purpose and not just talking about the money stuff.
Yep. So smart money parenting. Sorry to lose a few followers by telling you that the point of life is not to just get rich. The point of life is to find purpose and find ways to love. Business is actually a conduit to love people. If you really look at it the right way, creating value for other people is a way to serve and love them. And that's the real core of business. That's the core of successful business, actually. And this is why I love capitalism, dude. I honestly think the word capitalism is a slang term to the world sometimes these days. Like it actually,
It's misunderstood.
it's
misunderstood.
totally misunderstood. In French, the French named it capitalism as a slap to us hundreds of years ago. It really should be called value createism. That's what it really should be called. If we could think like my purpose is,
I like that much better, by the way. I just marinated on that for a second. I like it much better.
value createism is like the best way to think about the market. No one's going to pay you for something that they don't want or need, right?
Right.
No,
Right.
businesses thrive off of solving problems and adding value to the customer. That is one of the greatest ways that we've exploded in the last several hundred years. Free market capitalism is literally people going out and saying, how can I solve problems around me? How can I meet wants and needs around me? How can I use the gifts and the skills and the talents to meet needs in the world, that sweet spot? And when millions and billions of people find that sweet spot and help everybody around them unlock value and solve problems, the world's a way better place. And you should hang your hat on that at the end of the day. So if you're in a job right now that's tough, welcome to the club. If you're in a job that's sucking your soul dry, it might be time for a soul check. Maybe it's time to say, is there a way that I can transform my own job right now into something that really gives me purpose, that really gives me joy, that really makes me feel at the end of the day, even though it was hard, I can't wait for tomorrow, or I'm gonna push through it because it's really helping a lot of people? Or is it time to change jobs? Or is it time to switch it? That's okay too. Like you have to have this mindset of, I have gifts and talents and skills to give the world, and I'm going to push until I figure out the best way to use it. That's the way to go. Purpose trumps money all the time.
I love it. I love it. So with that, let's wrap up our episode today, really focusing on purpose. Model that for your kids, teach your kids about it. Make sure to discover the purpose of your family. Like, what is your purpose? What matters more than money? Do the things that matter, and the money and the rewards will follow, but you got to start with purpose and start with why. So thanks again for listening, guys. Share the show with someone who needs to hear this message today. Like, follow, subscribe. We love the reviews. We read a bunch of reviews at the start of the show. So if you like what you heard, leave us a review. And thanks again for listening. Scott and I will be back here soon. Have a great day.
Take care, guys. Bye.
It takes more than money if you want to succeed. You gotta know what to do with it. You gotta take the lead. You gotta give them confidence. You gotta make them smart. If your kids are gonna thrive, now's the time to start. Smart money parenting.